The next item is to review and consider approving the 2014 Summer Online Course Development Cohort.
At the Board Academy this month, earlier in April, we did have a number of our staff members, along with Mr. Potter and Renee Stroll, our tech integration specialist at the high school level, talk about the experience that they had in going to the conference that focused on developing online coursework based on rubrics created by Quality Matters. So we want to be developing online coursework so that we can hopefully reverse the trend of students taking advantage of online coursework in other districts or through virtual schools. So we're prepared. We have teachers that are excited to begin this work, and we basically need your approval of funds to do that. We would like to offer a summer cohort group of 6 to 16 staff members who would attend a class taught this summer by Mrs. Stroh, and following the completion of that class, then they would have the remainder of the summer to be working on the development of a semester class. Upon successful completion of that curriculum, they would be paid $1,000 for the time that they spent the 2 weeks in the class, as well as the work that they put in beyond that. We're hoping that those 16 people will go on to want to, if they teach a year class, to create the second semester of that class, or if they have a strong enough interest to create another semester class. That could be developed during first semester, so it would be ready to roll out to them second semester. So we're asking for approval of $32,000 that could be used for paying staff members to do this work. And so that is summarized in a document for you, and then you also see the cohort application that's been developed, the requirements, what we're expecting them to do. Staff members would have to apply, and we would pick the 16 individuals that we feel there's the greatest need for the coursework in. And I think it's safe to say at this point that, we're going to be focusing on high school teachers initially. If we don't find 16 high school teachers, adding some middle school teachers in, but we're relatively positive we'll be able to find at the secondary level those individuals. And eventually, we envision that we can continue to build on that. The next summer, another $32,000, 16 more people, so that eventually we can have even online coursework that can be done at the elementary level. But at least starting out at the secondary level, where we're seeing the biggest drain from students leaving the high school.
And when you say create, first they'll go to this summer to the training, and then they'll create that is online. Is that just creating the curriculum on paper or on?
It's online. Putting the course
together.
Online. So,
okay.
Because the curriculum is already developed, so it's getting the resources into the system, because students will be accessing the entire class online. So it's your lecture notes, your worksheets, videos, like I said, different resources that are going to be used. Yeah.
And so would that contemplate that entire semester course could be taken entirely virtually, or we also are accepting applications for a blended learning class? I'm not quite sure.
The vision is it'll be whatever the student would like. So if we have a student that maybe has a medical condition and says, I just cannot get into school, I need to stay at home and do this coursework, they can be at home 24/7 and still get a Toma High School diploma eventually, once we have all of the accredited coursework online. It can be a student saying, I'm going to come to class 3 days a week because I need that teacher interaction. I've got some questions, but on these days I'm going to be staying home and working on this coursework at home. So the whole spectrum is available, and that will be determined based on, again, student needs and their.
Okay, but what they're creating could be used entirely virtually.
Absolutely, yes.
And when could they, how soon?
Well, the first classes, we were just talking about this at a meeting that we had last night, the first classes would be developed, for next semester. So if we had a student who said, let's just say it's one student that says, I really would like to do this online, if we've got the course available, we would ask the teacher to offer the class online during their prep time and pay the teacher then for, whatever. We have to work that into Schedule B as well. But we're probably going to find ourselves having to do that until a full class is developed where you can say, I have one period where it's my online coursework, where we've got 20 kids involved in online work. And then we can set aside that period strictly for them to be working on grading and sending out emails and connecting with the kids online.
And this would also be available to open enroll, right?
Yes, yeah.
For everybody?
Yeah. So if there was a Sparta student that wanted to open enroll in the Tacoma School District and use virtual classes, they could do that, or any other student.
Do you know of any other districts that are doing it?
Oh, there are lots of districts that have online coursework. The difference is they purchase the content. So some other entity, company has created an online course. And they take that curriculum and content and they have their teacher working with the student while the student is doing that course created by someone else. The research shows that teacher-created content is more effective than content that's been developed just by an outside agency because, again, kids want that type of connection. And if we're going to be giving them our Tacoma High School diploma, we want them taking the courses that we offer here in Tacoma. So, and we don't want the outlay year after year after year where you are purchasing this curriculum, online content. Once we have it developed, we'll be able to use that indefinitely. There'll be tweaks made, of course, and changes, but it's our content that we don't have to pay for. We've just had the one expense in terms of the creation of it.
And then how does this affect the budget?
Well, I think at this point in time, we have to work so that it fits into our current budget. But it is our hope that we will draw in more students and it will more than pay for itself. We know we spend a lot of money on kids paying other school districts to provide online courses. On the survey, again, that was done with parents and students and even parents who are accessing current virtual schools indicated they would come back to Tacoma if we offered it for them.
And it certainly sounded like a work in progress. I know you were at that board retreat, but we had the staff here that is working on it and are being introduced with it. And they were very enthusiastic about it, and certainly a work in progress. It looked like they had the rigors in place, that they were policing themselves, that the product they're going to create is going to be really a good product. And there's certain benchmarks and everything they're following right down the line. So it really looked like they had a lot of thought gone into this and really trying to make a good product.
This is one of those times where we have to put some money into something to be able to get more students coming back and to further the educational opportunities for the students.
That is,
Well, I think to answer Jan's question, though, the question is it going to fit in the budget? And at this point in time, we will be reviewing our 14-15 budget to see if it is going to be fitting in the budget. But if the board approves it, then that means it's a priority, so we will make it fit in the 14-15 budget. So that means depending on what that budget ultimately looks like, we may be making some other choices too. But I'm confident we'll be talking about that as we talk about the health insurance, that there will be some flexibility to do that without compromising the budget. But again, we need to go through a process yet to look at the 14-15 budget, so.
And as Greg said, this has been something that's been thought about for quite a few years here because of what we've seen with the declining enrollment and where we need to go to try and give those students all the opportunities we can and keep them here. Certainly has.
We have an open enroll exception that came in last minute just today. I embedded it for you, and it's the perfect example. If we had online coursework, we wouldn't be dealing with having to send this child to a virtual school. So there is an urgency, I believe, for our district to move forward with this. We have talked about it since we started. We added 2 technology integration specialists because this is personalized learning, blended learning. This is the wave of education for the future. And we cannot, again, just accept, well, we're going to keep with paper and pencil and just plug away. We won't survive. We have got to invest in order to keep our students here. And we're making sure that what we're offering our kids is good stuff, quality instruction. Our teachers, our content, we know what the kids are going to be getting compared to if we had to purchase something and just have kids using that.
And with years ago, this is the path that we saw we needed to go down. I mean, and we started it down. This isn't the beginning, this is further down the path.
Okay, then I'd look for a motion to approve the 2014 Summer Online Course Development Cohort.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve that online course development as presented. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. The ayes have it. That motion carries, and so that online course cohort is approved.